All right, everybody. People have been asking me, what's the status of the house? It's July 9th of 2021. And it is, God, I think it's a Saturday. Time flies when you're having fun. So I'm here to report, this is just a distraction. This is not the reason I'm doing the video. This is a 1993 Cadillac Fleetwood. Yes, it is as mint in reality as it is in this video. This thing has less than 40,000 miles. It is a gorgeous car on every level. It's got the Landau top, the cloth roof. It's got leather seats that are, of course, burgundy. It rides like a boat, because it is a boat. It's an amazing car. I mean, not a lick of rust anywhere on the body. It is just such a sweet vehicle. And look, it's got the wheel covers right here. It's so amazing. It's a fun car. It's incredible condition. And it is fun to drive. I've changed all the fluids, all that stuff. I'm gonna have a guy do the rear end and the tranny, but everything else I've done. New filters, new fluids. It's an amazing car. I really didn't appreciate how amazing it was back in the 90s. But since I have fast cars, I wanted a car that was smooth and big and quiet. And this one fits the bill. And look at that grill. That's a grill only a mother could love. So getting back to the report on the house. Lance has been gone for 3 months. Lance Jochims. Now, nobody knows why Lance is gone. I don't think even Lance knows why he's gone. There remains all the speculation about he's butthurt. And butthurt, for those who are unfamiliar with that term, is he got his feelings hurt. So he decided, because he was going to leave. Now, in March 20th or 22nd, when he asked me for the fourth and final payment on a house that was not done, I had to say no. Because you can't pay someone the fourth and final payment on a house that isn't done. And I've said this before, but it bears repeating. No one will pay any contractor the fourth and final payment until the house is done. And I did confirm this with a number of loan officers at banks who said, no, you don't pay the fourth and final payment until the house is done because the contractor will never return. Well, in my case, the contractor has never returned. Back, I think it was on April 9th, Lance decided to leave, to quit working on the house. He didn't tell anybody. There was no letter. There was no conversation. There was nothing. He just got butthurt, my words, and decided to pull up the sign that used to be out on the road that said Wausau Homes. And he took the porta potty that used to be there, and also the dumpster had been gone for a while. And of course, didn't clean up. You can see all the dirt and schmutz and trash. Didn't clean that up. One day on April 9th, everything disappeared. He hasn't been back in 3 months. Now, how do I know he hasn't been back? Well, I think I pointed this out before. I monitor the house. And that up there is a video camera. It tells you when people come and go. Lance has not returned to this building site for 3 months or 90 days. Now, that's just the way he is. You would think someone in their mid-30s would act like an adult. That's not really happening here. He won't tell anybody why he's refusing to work, and that's just the way it is. So I'd like to make this my 3-month anniversary with Lance. But most people see anniversaries as being positive things. Lance has been nothing but negative energy. Why someone, anyone, who has about 3 days worth of work left on this house, and it will be complete. We're talking 3 days, not 30 days. 3 days worth of work. Some insulation, cleaning the garage floor, cleaning the area, doing some trim work on some of the doors that don't close correctly. Some really minor stuff. He just decided he wasn't going to finish. And in Wisconsin, there's pretty much nothing you can do about it. The lobby for builders is so strong that there appears to be no consequences for a builder just to pull up his stakes and walk away. Now, the nice thing is, my attorney, sadly I had to get an attorney, says I can put my stuff in the house. That's fine, because that, quote, mitigates damages. So I've stuffed the house full of all my stuff, because paying for a storage locker and etc. got expensive. So that's a plus, I guess. But once again, 3 months. This house was supposed to be done January 8th of this year, 2021. Well, Lance missed that date. Never offered an explanation, never offered a reason. And then in March, was it 20th or 22nd? He said he'd be done by the end of March. Of course, that didn't happen. And on April 9th, when he was told in the end of March he wasn't going to get the fourth and final payment. On April 9th, he just quit the job. Now, it appears that he's somewhat offended when someone says he's abandoned the job site. I don't know how you could think of it as being anything but that. He hasn't been here for 3 months. He hasn't visited. He hasn't driven by. He hasn't checked for the security of the building. He doesn't know if it's being vandalized or anything. He just quit. And then look at all this trash. He just left it this way. Trash, unfinished. I'm just sort of stupefied. I'm used to rational adults. People who actually talk to other people, who don't get a hissy fit, don't get butthurt, don't walk away, and then expect everybody to run around trying to find out what's the problem, Lance? Is there anything we can do to make you act like an adult? Are you okay? Is everything all right? So some people would describe him as spoiled. I'm not sure I'd use that word, but it certainly seems to fit. So I just thought it'd be important to give everybody an update. No, I haven't died. No, the house hasn't fallen off the planet, but nothing's being done. Lance Jochims of Wausau Homes, he is a franchisee of Wausau Homes. Oh, by the way, I've tried to contact Wausau Homes repeatedly. They did reply once, but I've never heard from them again. You would think, at least I would speculate, that one of your franchisees, Lance Jochims, disappears, that they would take an interest, because it's not helping their reputation. They don't seem to care. At least I sent them multiple emails. I've called. I've done everything I can do, and I've just stopped trying. Because if someone doesn't want to talk to you, they make it pretty clear because they don't talk to you. It's just kind of funny that way, or not funny. So I'm a patient man. Sadly, I had to get an attorney because I told Lance, let's not get an attorney. We got 3 days worth of work here. We'll spend more money on attorney's fees than it would cost to finish this home. But of course, Lance is one of those sort of semi-oppositional people. It's like dealing sometimes with a child. You say yes, they say no. You say stop, they say go. You say hi, they say low. It's almost like a Beatles song. And because he didn't get his way, and I'm not saying he's spoiled. I would never say he's spoiled. He decided just to quit and leave all the mess here, never visit the job site again, and simply not finish the job. And we're not talking about big money here. We're not talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we're not talking about months worth of work that has to be done. He simply has taken his marbles and gone home. It has been speculated, not by me, but by others, and I'll share it with you, that he's used to doing this to people and being, some would describe it as a bully. I wouldn't use the word bully, but that has been a description that Lance is a bully. And if he doesn't get his way, he bullies people. He'll stop working on a house. Now, do I know he stopped working on a house before? I have no idea, because if he has done that, there is no record of it. There's no record of it because the Metropolitan Builders Association does mediation and arbitration. And as I've mentioned before, there is no record ever kept of those. So if Lance has gone through this before, there's no record of it. So if someone said, hey, would you use Lance again? I think the answer is pretty obvious. Why would anyone use Lance Jochims as their builder? given what he's done to me, and everybody who's looked at the house and realized that there's 3 days worth of work left goes, you'd be insane. You would have lost your ever-loving mind to ever consider him as your contractor, because if he can do it to me, he can do it to you. And there's no consequences. He can get away with doing this to another human being, and there's no consequences. This house was started a year ago on July 8th, and it's still not done. There's no kitchen sink. The shower in the master bathroom is not done. The insulation, which, by the way, Lance paid for. This is the insane part of this contractor. He paid for the insulation, which was not done to the contract. He's actually paid for it. And now he has to pay for it again, because I actually went up there and looked and said, this isn't what I paid for. So if you do decide to use Lance as your contractor, and now realize I would never recommend that you use Lance as a contractor. And that's strictly based upon my experience with him. I don't hold him any ill will. I'm sure he's a fine human being when it comes to treating people well that he likes. But when it comes to me and what he's done to me, I just don't see the reason why anyone would use him as a contractor. And it would be interesting to know, have other people been subjected to this kind of behavior? And since there is no record kept of this kind of behavior, Lance can get away with it. Because if you look on the internet and say, hey, has Lance ever done anything bad? You can't find anything. And it may be because he's never done anything bad. But as pointed out by a good friend of mine, he said, people don't do this spontaneously. In his opinion, there is a track record of this behavior. It's been done before. This is not the first time he's done it. Now, like I said, I think some would call this being a bully. If you stop working on a house, a person's desperate to get in, they'll basically say uncle and do whatever needs to be done to get into their home. Now, what I do is I take care of the house. I'm here. I'm making it look like it's occupied, even though it isn't, so that the house doesn't get torn apart, vandalized, robbed. I have a responsibility to the insurance company to make sure that the house looks occupied. I can't just abandon it. I'm not Lance Jochims, Jochims, Lance Jochims. I have a conscience. I'm not saying Lance doesn't have a conscience. Don't go there. I'm not saying that. I would never say that. The point is that Lance just quit the job because he got his undies in a twist. He can't tell anybody why he quit working on it. No explanation at all. He just didn't like the fact, in my opinion, that when he asked for his fourth and final payment before the house was done, and he did not get his way. Well, then he decided just to quit working on the job because he didn't get his way. And nobody, including my attorney, has any idea why he quit the job. There's speculation, of course, like he's run out of money. I don't know if that's true or not. I did offer him money. I said, listen, if you need more money to finish the house, we'll do a draw on the fourth and final payment. We'll get a little agreement going. I will be glad to help you get the house done. Well, pride goeth before the fall. And Lance said, no, he didn't need that. So I said, okay. But then a week later, gone. Never to be seen for another 3 months. Now, when will all this end? I have no idea. Realize we're dealing with Lance. So knowing what will happen, what's going on, why, the reasons, they don't exist. Not with Lance. And it may be 4 months, 5 months, but I see no reason to provide a video every 3 days. Nothing's going on. Nothing's being done. No contractors are showing up. No subcontractors are showing up. Nothing's being done. So I figured it's been 3 months. I might as well let people know that Lance has not shown up. And once again, I'm doing this to document it, at the same time, potentially to protect people who might consider going down the same path I have gone. Boy, if there's somebody out there who's had a similar experience, I would love to hear from you. I know this is a very small viewing audience, But it would be nice to protect somebody from the same behavior that I've experienced. Because I'm parking cars out here, so the place looks like it's used. It's occupied. Now understand, I own all the land, and technically I own the house. So I'm not trespassing, I'm not doing anything wrong. It's all cool, it's fair. But I'm just so disappointed. I always think other people are well-intentioned Christians that do the right thing, and that's just not the case here. It's just not the case at all. So if I can protect another human being, another family who's building a house, find someone else. That's my recommendation. If somebody came up and said, what do you think of the work he's done? Well, I wouldn't hire him. I simply wouldn't. This is such an aggravation to be 12 months past the date the house was started, to be 6 months past the date the house was supposed to be finished, and have a contractor who didn't tell anybody, who just leaves the job site for 3 months, and in my opinion, abandons it. Somehow I think I've heard through the grapevine, he doesn't feel he's abandoned it. Well, I think it was Humpty Dumpty in Alice in Wonderland was asked by Alice a question. And Alice looked up at Humpty Dumpty and said, I don't think that's what that word means. And Humpty Dumpty, maybe he's like Lance, I don't know. Lance is not an egg. He's not sitting on a wall. He's not taking a great fall. But Humpty Dumpty apparently told Alice, if I remember the story correctly, words mean exactly what I say they mean, nothing more, nothing less. And in this case, when I use the words that Lance has abandoned the job site, apparently Lance takes some offense at that. But much like Humpty Dumpty, words mean exactly what Lance says they mean. You and I would all agree, I'm sure, if we were sitting down having a meal, that if you've been absent from a job site for 90 days, 3 months, you never told anybody you were going to leave, you didn't give them any reason, you didn't give them an explanation, you didn't say, hey, we can continue to work on the house if we do X, Y, and Z, I think that's abandoning the job site. Only time will tell. Maybe Lance is right. Maybe if you split from a place for 90 days, 3 months, and you never show up, you never look at the house, you never check its condition, its security, its integrity, maybe that isn't abandoning. You know, the world is such a strange place. So this is my update. Sorry if it's all this negative energy and vibes. That's sometimes just the way life is. You don't always get what you want. But like I said, my life doesn't end or stop because someone else decides to misbehave. So I purchased this amazing car. And I know it's a grandpa car. I totally get it. But it is such a pristine example of that time period. And it runs beautifully. It's smooth. It's quiet. It's got a big 350 cubic inch V8. Look at that chrome down at the bottom. Oh, like I said, the interior is to die for. It's so sweet. The leather is nice. So my point in talking about this is to say you got to be positive. You got to be upbeat. Don't let other people, because they're unhappy or mad or sad, take the fun out of your life. Don't do it. Be strong, hang in there, talk to your friends, get advice, and just do what you have to do. Oh, just to let you know, my insurance company, after 2.5 years, has decided they will not pay for my housing anymore. And I totally get it. I hold them at no ill will. I totally understand why they're doing it. It's been 2.5 years. And they understand that Lance is 6 months late. They understand that he abandoned the project 3 months ago. My words, Lance doesn't agree with that. So starting July 14th, I will be renting a room from my neighbors. They've been kind enough to offer me a room. I'm going to pay them for it, and that's where I'm going to live. Now, the house is occupied in the sense that I put my stuff in it. And I do come here every day to give the illusion that it's occupied, to make sure that the property is safe, and I hang out. It's a very nice place. I mean, if you were here with me, you'd go, wow, this is really a great place. Unfortunately, I can't live in the house. It's not finished. I can't bathe in the house. I can't cook in the house. There's nothing I can do in the house except make sure it's safe. Because just as a reminder, if I abandon the house, like I believe Lance has abandoned the house, and somebody came by and vandalized the house, the insurance company would rightfully say, why didn't you tell us there was nobody there? We can't insure a building that doesn't have somebody hanging around it. And I get that. So I'm doing my due diligence. I'm doing the right thing. And once again, I am documenting what's going on. So should somebody ask what's going on, I can say, oh, let's look at the video. It's a sad, sad story. But like I said, I've got friends, family. I'm doing stuff. I'm having fun. It's just not exactly the way I thought it was going to go. So once again, reiterate, would I have Lance build a home for me? No fricking way. I would make sure that the contract read, more specifically, if you abandon the job site, there's consequences. If you stop working, there's consequences. If there's a date like January 8th when it was supposed to be done, there's consequences. I would really take the time. But when I met Lance, I thought, he's a straight shooter. He's not going to jerk me around. I couldn't have been more wrong if I had tried. And hopefully my journey, my troubles will be a warning to others. Be afraid. Do not hire this man to build your house. You can do it. I'm not telling you shouldn't do it. That's not at all what I'm saying. I just think it would be a bad idea. And hopefully these videos might help someone who's on the fence saying, hey, should I have this guy build my house? You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. Your experience may be different. Your mileage may be different. I would never recommend him to anyone to build a house. It would be just a terrible idea. Unless, of course, your contract has some teeth in it. And I'm to blame for that. I like people. I tend to trust them. I don't know what's going on with Lance. No one seems to know what's going on with him. And hopefully I don't have a video in 4 months where I talk about my 4-month anniversary with Lance not showing up. And then my 5th month anniversary and my 6th month anniversary. You get the role here. When will this house be done? I don't know. But like I said, if someone said I could finish it, I could have it done in 3 days. Literally done in 3 days. But it's amazing. That last 3 days has stopped the whole process. I can't live in it, like I said. You can't live in a house that doesn't have a shower, doesn't have a kitchen. Well, I guess you could. Then it'd be like being back in Iraq. But I'm not in Iraq. So I love you all. Realize I'm okay with what's going on. I don't like it. I'm powerless over what's going on. I can't do anything about it other than give Lance what he wants. And I'm not going to pay anybody, including Lance Jochims, for a house that's not done. You don't pay someone for a house that's not done. Even if they try to gaslight you into thinking the house is done, the house is not done. Trust me, if you were here, we'd do a walkthrough and you'd go, this house isn't done. And I'd go, you're right, it's not done. Do not pay anybody for a product that isn't done. Stick to your guns, stand your ground. As tough as it may be, as unpleasant as it may be, do not pay someone because they're bullying you into it. Do not do it, because Lance hasn't shown up for 3 months. Imagine if I had paid him when the house was not done, and the house is still not done. Would he ever show up? What incentive does anyone have to come back to finish a house when they've been paid? I mean, this house isn't done. He hasn't been paid. He's still not showing up. So at least I have that 4th and final payment. It's not a lot of money, as a little bit of control over what's going on. And people who know me will tell you, Robert isn't going to budge. The house is not done. He ain't going to pay. That's just the way he rolls. And hopefully I'm not the only one who feels that way. In fact, I know I'm not. I've had a lot of people go, nope, I do the same thing. And I ask everybody, am I doing something that's out of line? Am I making a mistake? Am I being unreasonable? Am I being a jerk? Everybody says I'm doing the right thing. Not a single person has said, I'd reconsider what you're doing. You're being mean or you're being nasty. No, not a single person has said that. Of course, if there's somebody out there, well, other than Lance, who feels that way, call me, text me. put comments in this video and say, hey, back off, guy. You should reconsider what you're doing. But nobody has done it. I don't expect them to do it. Heck, like I said, loan officer at my bank looked at me and said, no, nobody makes the final payment on a house that is not done. End of discussion. So before, love you all. It's great weather. It's like, 75 degrees. It's overcast. It's supposed to rain. I'm good with that. And all in all, I'm going to relax and have some fun today. Talk to you later. Love you. Bye.